The fact that it was built by Hook and Hastings is well known, and they were the preeminent organ building firm of the United States for most of the 19th century. The factory in Boston was on Tremont Street, just around the corner from this church. It is the closest organ to the factory that they ever delivered. And we think the factory is in the vicinity of where the new police station is. The 1880s period was their most prolific. They were shipping an average of between 40 and 50 organs a year, so that's one a week. So its historical significance is that it is the largest surviving Hook organ of the 1880s. And beyond that, it's in completely original condition, and it's in its original home. Hi, I'm Scott Huntington, the restorer of the organ in the Roxbury Church. Welcome to the shop in Stonington, Connecticut. You will see right there what you are looking at is the pedal board for Roxbury, which is one of the last pieces to be done, and it's getting new natural coverings like this to replace what was on there from 1972 because they were the wrong size. And over here are the stop jams for Roxbury. They still need to have their red cloth inserted in the hole, and the stops, stick out of those holes like this, and these sit on either side of the console. This is all antique cherry, which has been oiled and waxed, cleaned, oiled, and waxed. The pedal board is cherry. The naturals are maple. The walnut, or the sharps, are rosewood capped walnut. The bench, it's stain coat because they had put a stain. That was the hardest thing for me to figure out, is how they had actually treated the wood. And this was gouged and worn down. There was no finish left. So I had to invent a stain that matched the stain that they had put on it, because this was now raw wood. And then a layer of varnish. We'll go over this. And the reason you stain wood, particularly like cherry, is that there's a lot of variation from piece to piece, light and dark. And so you put a leveling stain over it, which makes every piece the same color. Yeah, so now we'll go into the cage to see the parts of the organ that got moved here for the duration until the church is ready for these parts to go back. It's climate controlled. This is all Roxbury. All these trays. This is the case sides. This is the impost here. These are the two roundels from the pedal towers that had come apart, and they have been restored. These are all pipe trays. This entire stack here is the facade pipes, but all these wooden crates all the way back on both sides, these are all Roxbury's pipes. These are on the extreme right and left side, way high up in the air. They're what are called pedal towers. There's a matching rounded bit on the bottom. So it's both functional and decorative because they keep the pipes in place, as well as being a decorative element that's part of the casework. The part that was delivered so far is the main functioning part of the organ, the wind chest, the key action, the stop action of the wind reservoirs, the wind lines, the console, everything that describes the organ's mechanical structure. What came here for safekeeping, because it can't be installed until the room is done, is the exterior casework, the facade, the decorated facade pipes, and all the interior pipework. This organ was cleaned and made playable, barely, after the fire in 1992. And there was a very dedicated group of church people that washed every pipe in the organ in a bathtub outside the church. And that made a very big change in how the organ sounded before that, because the pipes were just choked with dirt. And so the organ that people heard in 1992 was a revelation compared to how it had sounded for a few decades before that. Now, with every part of the organ renewed, the pipes are going to go on that voicing machine over there, where they're going to get regulated. And now not only the pipes are going to be cleaned, but every part of the organ interior is going to be cleaned. And so the organ is going to sound as if a veil has been lifted from it. It's going to speak with a new brightness, a new clarity, more color. The softer stops are going to be more different from one another than they were before. And most especially, the organ's going to look different. And the woodwork, the cherry case has been cleaned, it's been oiled and waxed. So it's going to gleam with a new warmth and clarity. The wood grain will be easier to see because it's not covered with years of candle smoke and soot and whatever. And so the whole thing is just going to be brighter and more colorful. The sound is going to be slightly brighter, but certainly more colorful. The case is going to be brighter and more colorful. And it's visually and architecturally, it's going to be quite a significant contribution to the room. When the facade pipes were white, it sort of blended in to the background. And now it's very definitely not going to blend into the background. It's going to be as significant an architectural feature of the room as any other of its architectural members.